The Great Smoky Mountain National Park is one of the most visited places in the eastern United States. Surrounding the national park lies several different national forests. Ride along with us as we overland through these national forests following the Smoky Mountain 1000. Coddiwomple Overland is proudly powered by Cummins Off-road, where you can completely outfit your vehicle and still retain their lifetime powertrain warranty. We are also brought to you in part by Overland Vehicle Systems, Trail Rated Coffee, Skinny Guy Campers, and more Expo. Also, if you're looking for some of our merch, make sure and check out shopoverlandapparel.com. We're going to begin this journey just outside of Hampton, Tennessee. We're going to be making our way counterclockwise around the Smoky Mountain 1000. We'll be going through Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and eventually making our way back to Hampton. It didn't take long at all for us to find dirt in the Cherokee National Forest along the Joolca Mountains. Joining us on this trip will be Matt and Dawn in their really nice built JLU Rubicon. Our first stop of the day would be at the Joolca Mountain Overlook at the Pleasant Garden.
Come on.
After a somewhat short visit at the Overlook, we decided to get back on the trail. We had a lot of miles to cover in the next several days. Once you leave the beautiful Joolca Mountains, you find your way on blacktop for several miles. Now this is not bad because it is very, very scenic. Dawn and Matt, Deb and I had all traveled quite a bit just to get to the Hampton area today. So we didn't do a whole lot of trail stuff. I had found some campsites close to the French Broad River, and that's where we decided to set up for the night and get to know our new friends. I had found these campsites by studying the Gaia Overland layer. I had no idea just how beautiful the road to these campsites was going to be. We found a truly epic campsite right along the French Broad River on a beach. How much better could it get than that for our first night? After coffee, breakfast, and setting some things up to charge on the new EcoFlow River 2, it was time to break camp and get moving. We would have loved to hang around this camp a little bit longer, but we knew today needed to be a fairly long day. The next closest area for dispersed camping was going to be somewhere south of Cherokee or Bryson City, so that was going to make for a fairly long day for us. By this time, we were on our way to the Rich Mountain Fire Tower. Now, there's a trail called Shad Road that parallels this route. We had never taken it, and we decided to take a little detour.
What way does it go?
It would appear it goes this way.
This way?
As we turned right onto the road less traveled, it was obvious that this probably wasn't going to be the route for a big adventure bike, but it was going to be perfect for a four-wheel drive. Well, after that one, if you're in a four-wheel drive and you're on the Smokey Mountain 1000, Shad Road is definitely worth the detour. Now it's back on to the regular route and making our way on towards the Rich Mountain Fire Tower.
I don't like this.
You good?
Huh?
You good? Almost there. Come on.
I'm like climbing up.
After checking out the amazing view from the fire tower, we made our way back down the other side of the mountain toward Hot Springs, North Carolina. Hot Springs is a cool little touristy town. Not only does it have the only hot springs to be known in North Carolina, it's also a stopover for the Appalachian Trail.
No, it's up around the corner.
Well, there was one right there too.
Oh, I didn't remember that one. Well, where there's one, there's more. And if the updrafts are
Our next stop was going to be the famous Buzzard Roost. This is the Buzzard Roost that overlooks Interstate 40. After leaving Buzzard Roost, we made our way along the eastern side of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. This gravel road that we're traveling on in the national park is the old Chattahoochee Turnpike. Once we hit Blacktop, we made our way to the Blue Ridge Parkway, where we witnessed an incredible sunset. Remember that long day we discussed? Yep, you're right. We drove into the night through Cherokee until we found a Forest Service road just southwest of there. After setting up camp and having dinner, we all sat around the fire and had a nice relaxing evening.
We don't have a big aircraft now. So on the skids, it's got some kind of tabs on the skids to set down in at night.
The next morning, we got started off with some Mojave coffee and some breakfast burritos before getting ready and packing things up. Today's weather forecast was looking better as it was going to be sunny and warm today. The map forecast was looking better as well, as it looked like we were going to be hitting more trails than blacktop.
That is amazing.
It's ready, it's rolling. Ooh, that's a movie one. Come on, buddy. We're all gonna die. Oh my God. That's gonna be the...
Well, the good news is nobody died, and Deb relearned how to walk on a suspension bridge, just like she does every time we get on one. After leaving the suspension bridge, we traveled along the Little Tennessee River for several more miles. When we got to the mouth of Tellico Creek, we hung a right and headed back up the mountain. As we made our way off Otter Creek Road and onto Beechertown, we stopped here at this amazing waterfalls. This is the White Rock Waterfalls. As we were getting ready to leave from the falls, we started talking about how nice the day was. It was getting about lunchtime, and how nice it would be to set up the shower right next to the Nantahala River here and get a hot shower in the middle of the day. And that's how the search for the perfect midday camp spot began. Lady Luck was sure on our side today. Just up the road from where we had talked about it, we found the perfect place to set up the Joolca and get a hot shower.
The one we looked at online, yeah. Okay. So we'll see how it works.
In just a few short minutes, we had everything set up, was pulling water out of the Nantahala River, and had a shower of 104 degrees. As everybody took turns taking a nice hot shower in the Joolca, everybody else had lunch. After a hot shower and a cold meal, we were back on the trail. As you wander your way through these mountains of North Carolina, you never know what kind of communities you're going to run up on. This is Denton, established 1883, population several. We were on our way to meet some more friends today, but we had to stop and take a little extra time to check out this old cabin. It sits along the old Santila Road. After admiring the old cabin and wondering what it would have been like to live here years and years ago, just up the road we found Kevin and Deb, and they already had a campsite picked out for us and had been set up for a little while waiting on us. We didn't waste any time getting camp set up and starting dinner. On the menu tonight, filet mignon.
I like your pan. We're going to do steak and potatoes and onions. Yeah, good. That sounds good. I know. I made vegetable soup.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah.
It'll be good, man. Oh, that looks good. That looks like mine.
Does it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you get any work done, Bill?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought it would be okay for the boy to go and go back?
I hate
There's the roughing stage and then as we packed up and headed out of camp today, I realized today was a first for Coddiwomple Overland. This was the first time that we had had a rig with a trailer on the channel. Not only did Kevin and Deborah's rig have a trailer out back, it had an LS out front. This morning we would get to see some beautiful sights from the Chattahoochee Skyway, and then we would get off onto more Forest Service roads.
Give me some pictures ready to put on.
And there have to be a Early afternoon, we started getting wind advisories for the area we're in. This is something that I always pay close attention to, especially when it comes to looking at camp for the night. You know, I love exploring these old mountains. You never know what you're going to find. Anything from a dog riding on a box to a team of mules pulling along a wagon.
Like you fellas got it made.
One of the things that we like most about the Smokey Mountain 1000 is the amount of incredible waterfalls. This one is no different, and we always have to stop here every time we come by. The last time we were here, it was frozen in ice.
Danger.
We continued our way up the Tellico River until we got to the Bald River Road, and that's where we turned right and went up on the mountain. As we crossed over the mountain, I remembered the wind advisory from earlier today and thought that probably the best thing for us to do was to stay down here in the valley. Now, the problem is there's not any dispersed camping in this valley, and the only thing that we could do was stay at a Forest Service campground. So that's what we done for the night. If you're looking for a quick, hearty camp meal that's not too hard to fix, ask Deb about her cowboy burgers. Good? Mm-hmm. After reviewing the videos from this trip, I realized it wasn't dirt in my bed. It was Aspen eating crackers.
I got two on what we'll call our barn over. One has grown. In Expo, they were doing them in the oven. They were coming out really good. Now she uses a dough, but I use like a.
We managed to stay protected from the wind overnight, and we also managed to get packed up before the rain started this morning. When we started planning this trip out, I really had thought about staying on top of Wacheesee Mountain one of the nights. That was kind of where I had planned on stopping the night before, but given the wind, I decided that probably wasn't a good idea. And I think I was correct because you can see now what we would have woken up to.
There last night. Look at the wind.
We didn't stay on top of Wacheezy for very long. It was extremely windy, probably 40 miles an hour or better. The mist was flying, and it was about 10 or 15 degrees colder than it was at the bottom of the mountain. What are you doing, Ashton? Are you really holding his head up?
Yes, I'm holding his head up. See? Oh, there's a lot of them working it. Get the cigarette out. Wait a minute. Stop for a second.
About halfway down the mountain, we run across a bunch of white trucks and then fire trucks. It was Forest Service trying to put out a forest fire. These guys had been out apparently all night, and you could tell they were extremely tired.
How you doing?
Firefighting is tough work on level ground, much less in these mountains, and I surely appreciate everything that these folks do to keep our forests safe. As we approached the bottom of the mountain, we were getting further away from the clouds, and the sun was starting to peek out. Stop here.
Yeah, that's a really pretty fall if it's...
Yeah. Wait, tell them
Go
where to
ahead.
stop.
We're going to stop here. There's a really pretty fall just right over there to the left.
As we made it to Tellico Plains, everybody was getting hungry. We decided to stop at one of the more famous places in the area, the Ironworks Grill. After enjoying the atmosphere and the incredible food at the grill, we were back on the move again. As we continued to make our way south, we crossed over the Hiwassee River.
What happened to your face? They took it out the window too long.
We had traveled quite a bit today and seen a whole lot. We were now almost in Georgia in the Cherokee National Forest. We had been looking for camp for a little while, but everything we were finding was already full, so we had to keep moving until we could find what we were looking for. It took us a little while, but we hit the jackpot. We found a perfect campsite right along a creek along the Big Frog Road, about 1.5 miles from the Georgia border. Well, that's a whole lot of something on there.
It is just Polish sausage, peppers, and onions.
Looks good.
Thank you. Like Polish sausage, peppers, and onions.
Come over here to Kevin and Deborah's camp, see what they got going on for dinner. Oh, that looks homemade vegetable soup, right? Yeah. Daughter's recipe or daughter-in-law's?
My daughter.
Daughter's. That looks really good.
And so with them, there was. I mean, that's been a lot of years ago.
We got a picture standing by it. See it.
We wanted to show you Kevin's custom-made trailer. One of the things that really sticks out about it is the way he's able to collapse down the rooftop tent to make it level with the top of his Jeep.
Away from the bears,
That's right.
she thinks.
See, that's
Start a crank, woman.
That's pretty slick. After Kevin and Deborah packed up, it was time for them to leave. They were going to make their way on back to Kentucky. We sure enjoyed having them with us and look forward to sharing a trail with them again really soon. After they'd left, Matt, Don, Deb, and I got on the move as well.
Look at that colors.
As we made it off the Big Frog Road, we found ourselves on a very busy Georgia-Tennessee border along the Conestoga River. As we crossed into Georgia along Old Highway 2, we had our sights set now on Ellijay.
We've passed through there a time or two, but I don't know anything really about it. I just know it's a beautiful place, but I've never ventured out trails.
Yeah, it looks like it just goes out about a half mile or so and runs into a... Sometimes you just have to go exploring on a side road or two just to see what's at the end of it. I noticed there was a lake at the end of this one. Just curiosity got the best of us. We had to go check it out.
And then on top of it, I put the faded relief.
Look, whoa, buddy.
He was swimming in there. He's getting a stick.
Look, he's not gonna get me a stick from the water.
He's like, got me a stick.
That the MVUM laid to it, so I can see the Forest Service roads.
Just tucked back in here, ain't it?
I'm always on the lookout for a great campsite, and when I caught this one out of the corner of my eye, we had to stop and check it out.
Yeah, I bet people come out here and claim this.
It don't look like there's anybody up here this weekend.
We logged this one on Guy for another day, and it was time to get moving again.
Nobody's ever seen me with my hair down, but this is it. I was looking down here and then looked up and was like, well, it's going to get pretty.
When we got to Ellijay, we stopped at Pool's Barbecue. Not only is this a really cool place, but they have some great barbecue too. This also gave me a chance to get on some Wi-Fi and get a video out for the week.
What?
We tried to get a Coddiwomple pig, but they don't do that anymore.
Onion rings are on. Those onion rings are no. It must get really busy here to have.
After bellies was full and work was done, it was time to start searching for camp.
What do you think?
I think it's going to be tight.
Let me get out and look.
You're good. Your cell thing's gonna bounce off of it though. Just barely made it.
Will we come back down this in the morning?
Nope.
No? Oh, shit. That felt bad. Oh, gosh.
Dang, it's video worthy stuff here.
Yeah, it is. This is good. Well, that's a big chunk of quartz over there. That whole side right there is quartz. By this time, the wind had died down, and I had located another campsite on Guide GPS on the top of a Cummins Mountain. We will have the video coming out of here in the morning.
Yeah.
The trail up to this campsite was perfect. It was just challenging enough to where most people would not want to come up here, which gave us a really good chance that it was going to be open. After camp was set up, we sat around and watched the final episode of the 2022 Western Expedition. As much as we thoroughly enjoyed the morning, we were still excited to be able to tackle the trail that we had to come up to get to this camp the night before. When we got down to the bottom of the spur road, we'd turn right onto Nibble Wheel Gap Road, and this would lead us on into the Chattahoochee National Forest, where we'd spend the majority of the day. One place that you may find interesting is Camp Merrill, that helps train the rangers in mountainous terrain. Another place you might find interesting is the Chattahoochee National Forest Fish Hatchery. All of these little ponds are full of fish. As we made it to Blacktop, it was time for Matt and Dawn to make their way back to Greensboro. This was going to leave just Deb and I for the rest of the trip. We had a great time traveling with them over the last few days, and you'll probably be seeing more and more of them on the channel. After we parted ways, Deb and I decided to stop at the Cooper Creek recreation area to have a little bit of lunch. It was a little bit cooler today, so the soup that Kevin and Deborah left with us was perfect. That vegetable beef soup really hit the spot, but it was time to get on the move again. Charlie's Creek is another one of our favorite areas along the Smokey Mountain 1000. It has some of the cleanest, clearest water that I believe I have ever seen. We had to stop here and just see if we could find some trout. We didn't have any luck seeing any trout, but it was nice to get out and stretch our legs a little bit. We were going to stop at the Blue Ham Barbecue for some of their famous pulled pork, but they were closed. As the sun started to set, we were on the search for camp. We knew of a campsite that we wanted to stay at from the last trip that we had made through here. We were only hoping that it was going to be open. When we got to the campsite, it was open, but somebody had painted purple paint all over all of the trees, implying that it was private property. We decided that somebody obviously didn't want other people there, so we moved on out of that campsite and went on the search for another one. Not too far from where that campsite was, we were very fortunate to find another one, and it was just as good as the one we had left. So menu tonight?
Canned green beans, potatoes, and ham.
All right.
Quick dinner.
Quick dinner. We got to camp a little late, as usual.
It's actually not as late as it is dark.
Right. So, first weekend of daylight savings time. And it's only about 6:30, so.
Right.
We didn't make it to camp super late. Found a nice spot. And it's just Deb and I tonight. That's really good. Really good.
Good. That is one thing I love, is being able to have these steps at camp. And leave them out and be able to get in and get my stuff. What are you doing? Aspen, what are you doing?
at your mommy. Go get mommy.
Bite his nose.
What? No, leave it.
Oh, he
boy.
missed that one.
Last night made the second night that we had stayed in Georgia. Today's plan was to make it through South Carolina and back into North Carolina. We continued along South Carolina Route 130 until we got into North Carolina.
Got into Hampton.
And just a few miles into North Carolina, we were back off the pavement again. Not too far out of Asheville, we found ourselves back on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Now, we've done bits and pieces of the parkway throughout several states, but we've been thinking about doing the whole thing from end to end. If that's something you guys would like to see a video on, let us know in the comments below. Once we got northeast of Asheville, it was time to start finding Forest Service roads again. The problem we were starting to have now is we were running into closed gates.
It's got a gate too.
The gate here on Stony Fork appears to have been closed for a while. If you're going to do this route, you may want to take note.
So here's where we are.
This is where we've been. We tried to get there. We were going to come back and hit the parkway. Well, the parkway is closed. So now, in order to get over here, we're going to come down. Next to the interstate, we're going to hit US 70. And US 70 will take us over to this area, and we will stop. The detour took us quite a bit of time to get around. We were hoping to get to camp not long after dark tonight. It was supposed to be much colder. Well, the gate's not closed. That's a plus. We found ourselves again chasing the sunset and looking for camp. We ended up finding a really nice dispersed campsite not too far from Mount Mitchell. Tonight was going to be cold, so we went ahead and set up the annex on the Bushveld tent.
What are you having?
We're having homemade vegetable beef soup. Aspen approves. The next morning was pretty chilly outside, but it was nice and warm inside the annex. After we got everything packed up, we were back on the trail for another day's adventure. And this morning, just like several of the others, we found ourselves getting on to the Blue Ridge Parkway for just a bit. This time we'd be passing the Eastern Continental Divide. We could have chosen to go down to US 221 to go to Linville Falls from where we were at, but the alternate was the Blue Ridge Parkway if you did need fuel. We chose the Blue Ridge Parkway. Once we made it to Linville Falls, we decided to have breakfast at the famous Louisa's. If you're ever in this area, you've got to stop and get one of their omelets for breakfast. They're incredible. As we were leaving, we met some subscribers to the channel. Jerry and Lee live fairly close to the Linville area and just happened to see us as they were driving by. They've got a really cool Gladiator and are looking to get out and do some overlanding in it soon. We're hoping that they can share a trail with us sometime. After breakfast and hanging out with them for a few minutes, we made our way down North Carolina 105 along the Linville Gorge. Once you get to the bottom of 105, you're going to turn left and you'll be passing Lake James. We once again found ourselves exploring right to the edge of dark, and then setting up camp in the dark.
great that you drowned your fire out. Now pick up your garbage.
After Deb got her crazy dog in the truck, it was time to get started. Today would be our last day on the Smokey Mountain 1000. In 9 days, we were able to complete all 1,000 miles. This part of the route takes you across the Maple Sally Road. The Smokey Mountain 1000 is a great overlanding route. Other than a couple places down in Georgia, virtually all of it can be done in about any kind of vehicle. It can be done all at once, or it can be broken up into several different trips. It's not a challenging trail at all, but it is definitely very, very scenic. Deb and I have thoroughly enjoyed this trip. We got to bring some new friends and spend a lot of time with them along the trail. We also got to meet some new folks along the way and hope to share a trail with them soon. I hope by watching this that we've inspired you to live life as life is intended to be lived, not just worked away. Get out and explore. We really hope you've enjoyed going along with us on the Smokey Mountain 1000 as much as we enjoyed doing it. Until next time, see ya.